What's up guys, Chris here with Strength and Steel Reviews, certified personal trainer and unapologetic gear junkie. Today we're talking about the unsung heroes of back training, lat pull down attachments. The machine is only half the story. The real magic lies in the attachment used to operate it. I've pulled, rode, and tested my way through piles of bars and grips, and I've narrowed it down to 5 winners. Some are simple workhorses, others are engineered masterpieces, but each one makes pulling movements better. Let's get into it. Okay, so these are my top 5 lat pull down attachments, the ones that have earned a permanent spot in my home gym. The back is a notoriously complex muscle group with a lot of ground to cover. So in my experience, the more tools you have, the better. Some of these attachments are budget steals, others are serious upgrades, but every one of them makes pulling movements better. And I've also decided to include 2 bonus picks that I will just kind of sprinkle into this list. If you've got a favorite I didn't cover, drop it in the comments. Links to everything I mentioned will be down below. Let's start from the top. Okay, coming in at number 5, we've got an old school classic, the double D handle, specifically this Yes for All double D handle. This is the same handle that you've probably seen in every commercial gym since the dawn of time, and I've always loved it. So when I finally built my own home gym, I did not waste much time in getting one of my own. Now, to my great surprise, this only set me back about 20 bucks, which is practically unheard of these days for anything gym related. And for that price, it's surprisingly solid. It's got a chrome finish, it's weighty without feeling overbearing, and it's built like it could withstand a nuclear blast. This thing is tough. Now, other than pure preference and feel, this double D handle makes my list because of its versatility. You can use this for close grip lat pull downs, seated rows, and of course, T-bar rows. Though I will mention, and here's one of those bonus attachments that I said I'd sneak in here, I personally use a V-bar landmine handle attachment whenever I do landmine rows, which is one of my favorite exercises of all time. This brilliant little thing just clamps right onto an Olympic bar, and it's designed specifically to be used for landmine rows, and it's amazing for that. It's also supremely well priced. I genuinely love this thing. You can just clip it on, lift, and go. No concerns about balancing the flat end of the double D handle, and again, it's literally designed for this. That said, this Yes for All double D handle stands at number 5 because it's a common, no frills attachment, but it is dependable, very affordable, and one of those tools that never stops being useful. In other words, it's the perfect starting point before we get into many of the more unique picks on our list. Okay, at number 4, we've got the SP01 Korakhim handles with their adjustable lat pull down bar. This is essentially a budget-friendly knockoff of the very popular ROT8 handles from Prime. Everyone loves Prime, everyone loves the ROT8s and this unique paddle-like design, but the ROT8s will set you back about 125 bucks. These Korakhim handles, really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, only cost about 30 bucks. And having tried both, I can tell you the difference between the 2 brands is nominal at best. Now there is something special about this paddle-like design. It feels right, it feels good. Ultimately, I think the appeal for the ROT8s and consequently these Korakhim SP01 handles comes down to comfort, joint alignment, and pure pulling efficiency. Instead of wrapping your fingers tightly around a narrow bar, your palm rests against the broad surface of the paddle. Because of that larger contact area, the load is spread across your entire hand, so your grip doesn't give out before your back does. Also, because these handles can rotate, they help keep your elbows and shoulders in a more natural alignment, potentially removing a lot of stress from your joints, which is a big win if you deal with something like shoulder impingement or perhaps elbow tendonitis, because your grip here won't be a limiting factor, or at least not as much. You can focus on actually pulling with your lats and your upper back, which makes every rep feel smoother and more controlled and more deliberate. And then there's Korakhim's adjustable bar. With this, you can slide the handles closer or farther apart to switch from a wide grip pull down to a close grip row in seconds. Now, you don't actually need the bar. These handles work perfectly well on their own, clipped to a standard cable attachment point, but there's no denying the versatility that it does add. That flexibility means you can replace multiple fixed bars with this single setup, which is great if you're tight on space or you just hate clutter like I do. It's not higher on this list because it's more of a niche pick. If you're happy with a straight bar or a fixed neutral grip, you might not feel the need for it. But for lifters who value joint health and variety, this is a serious bang for your buck upgrade that I advise you consider. At number 3, we've got the Darko Shorty bar, specifically paired with the Angles 90 grips, a combination that has become an absolute staple in my back training. Darko's a small company out of California. You've probably heard of them, and they've since partnered with Rogue to make their products more accessible. You can still buy direct from Darko, and you can even customize the color, but just be aware that those custom orders do take a lot longer to ship, at least in my experience. There's a lot of versatility to this bar. It comes with a landmine attachment, which I like because unlike my V-bar attachment that I mentioned earlier, with this I can modify the width of my hand position to target different muscles in my back. But where this bar really earns its spot is in cable rows and pull downs, especially when you pair it with the Angles 90 grips, a clever pair of handles that I've praised a lot in previous videos and will continue to do so. These grips transform the feel of a pulling movement. They allow your hands to rotate freely, even more easily than those Korakhim handles I just mentioned, thanks to that durable rope connection that the Angles 90 have between the grip and the bar. Now this takes a lot of stress off your wrists, your elbows, and your shoulders, which is a big deal if you've been lifting for years or you just deal with joint irritation. Overall, it makes the experience feel smoother, more natural, and it really allows you to lock in on your lats without your grip becoming, again, a compromising factor, which continues to be an issue with a lot of pulling movements. Now, I do generally keep my Angles 90 grips on the Shorty bar for most lat pull downs and rows. That's what I use them for the most, but they are versatile. You can clip them onto a pull-up bar, or you can clip them directly onto a pulley system. They're strangely comfortable, they don't slip, and they don't create any awkward pressure points, even on higher rep sets. If joint comfort and range of motion matter to you, this pairing is hard to beat. The Shorty bar gives the grips a solid compact base, and together they make pulling movements more comfortable, more versatile, and more sustainable for long-term training. All right, number 2. So Rep has been on a roll lately with their new releases, and a lot of them have been collaborations with smaller, more boutique brands. The Atlas multi-grip cable and landmine attachment is a perfect example, taking a high-end specialty design and making it more widely available at a better price. To me, what sticks out the most about this attachment is how astonishingly light it is. Rep used aluminum instead of the typical heavy steel, which helped keep the weight down without sacrificing durability. Somehow, this thing weighs a mere 8.97 pounds, which means it's super easy to move, super easy to adjust, and easy to swap between different exercises. Its lightweight makes you want to use it. And despite being so light, it feels solid in your hand and reliable when you're using it. The knurling here is another highlight. Rep brought over their Colorado bar style knurling pattern, which is grippy without being hand shredding. To me, it feels just right. One of those things where if you know, you know. Now, as far as functionality is concerned, the Atlas offers multiple grip positions. The external positions allow you to flare your elbows for upper back and rear delt work, while the internal positions let you tuck them in to focus more on your lats. The Atlas is equally at home on a cable machine or in a landmine setup, and I've used it for both. I appreciate the stiffness of the frame. It lets me pull heavier compared to something like those Angles 90s, which makes it a nice change of pace, especially if I want to go heavy on back days. It's definitely not the cheapest attachment on this list, but it covers a lot of bases. It is super light, and if you're picking just one item from this lineup, it's a worthy investment. That said, it didn't take the top spot, though I admit, was very close. So, overtaking the Atlas attachment and taking the top spot is the most grip lat pull down bar. And honestly, this one caught me off guard. A friend recommended it to me, and at first glance, I thought it looked a little gimmicky. But it turns out, looks don't mean much because this thing is phenomenal. In fact, it's replaced every Marsafit lat pull down attachment I owned, which is one of those brands that successfully knocked off Mag's attachments. My Marsafit bundle came with multiple bars and grips, but the most grip bar combines all of them into one brilliantly designed piece, except for one, which would be my final bonus recommendation. The only Marsafit attachment that I've actually kept is this close grip handle from Marsafit, because it has this slightly inward curving grip, and it's just, for me at least, incredibly comfortable for rows. I find there to be nothing quite like it, and none of the grip positions on the most grip bar mimic it either. All the other Marsafit attachments, gone. This bar does it all in one piece. The Most Grip bar has a unique paddle-inspired design with 3 distinct grip positions: wide, narrow, and neutral. That means you can train your lats, rhomboids, and teres major from multiple angles without swapping out attachments. The wide grip is really wide, which feels fantastic for opening up the lats on pull downs, while the other positions keep things fresh and allow you again to target different areas of the back. If you've ever used mag handles, you'll recognize the concept, and it's very familiar here. The ergonomic handle shape keeps your wrist in a natural position. The textured anti-slip surface keeps your grip secure. It's also a visual standout, available in 3 bright colors: red, green, and orange, I think, and it looks every bit as good as it feels. It's built from heavy-duty steel. It holds up to 900 pounds, and it's surprisingly manageable for its size. At 20 pounds, it is indeed heavier than the Atlas attachment, but that extra heft gives it a stable, planted feel without making it cumbersome to move around. Ultimately, something I love so much about the Most Grip pull-down bar is that it saves a lot of space. All of those Marsafit bars, except for one, are gone. This decluttered my space instantly. The Most Grip bar looks unique, it feels great in hand, and it covers almost every pulling movement. Really, for most people, probably every pulling movement. If you're building a home gym and you want to maximize both functionality and space, I think this is a must-have. And that's my list. 5 lat pull-down attachments that I actually use, love, and recommend. If you've got a favorite I didn't cover, drop it in the comments. Help me keep up. Otherwise, hit that like button, subscribe if you wish, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay strong and stay steely. Adios.